Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It is your girl M, and today I'm going to be talking called The Wicked King by Holly Black. I am officially 2 years late on actually getting started on this series, and that's okay. I'm still here for the whole thing. I so far love the characters. I also love the cruelty of all of them. Also, disclaimer, I'm going to spoil it and just tell you about everything because there's just so much to unpack here, so I'm gonna get right into it. From the prologue up until the end. Hopefully the video isn't that long, I don't think so, I'll try and wrap it up pretty quick. If you want to like and subscribe for another book series talk, definitely not TikTok, though I am on there, but I still haven't really figured that out yet. I'm gonna start with the prologue. It basically goes into what I believe is a memory of Jude's, her sister Tyron and her pretty much sparring against him, and then it jumps into current day Tyron as essential to King Cardin, and he is running the whole kingdom like it's a party. So meanwhile, Jude is out trying to talk to Belkin, get information out of him, and also get word from him to Cardin, but then he refuses. So he's pretty much like, yeah, I don't want to talk to you. I'll find another way to go and send a letter to my brother. Slaps her and then dismisses her because, you know, he's still the prince apparently, even though he's in a complete utter dungeon in the Tower of Forgetting. In the meantime, Jude actually meets Cardin's mom because she has information about Jude's mom as well. Finds out more about that, and yeah, it's pretty deep. I was like, oh boy, I wonder. I'm thinking, like, how is Cardin's mom gonna get back into this picture? I won't lie, I've been seeing stuff on social media about different, like, TikToks and stuff, and if you're like me, you might spoil the book a little bit for yourself, which I've done, and I'm like, oh no, I hope she doesn't get introduced into the court. Of course she does in the end. Terrible. It's absolutely. Maddox is still not trusting Jude, even though they kind of work together toward the middle of the book, dare I say, for Oak's sake, since he's the one that's technically supposed to be on the throne anyway. But he's supposed to be coming in with Vivian and her girlfriend Heather for none other than Tyron and Locke's wedding. By the way, they're getting married. I'll get into that a little bit later. But Jude is the footman for all the council meetings that they have for Cardin. Cardin is just out partying. He has no interest in these council meetings, and basically that just leaves Jude to be the one to be pooped on all the time, and they still don't take her as seriously as the young woman that she is in the position that she is. Maddox is suspicious that something else happened with Jude putting the crown on Cardin's head that day. He doesn't believe that everything just happened that way. He's just expecting something to come of it. When your own daughter like poisons you, I guess that like leads to suspicion. He still doesn't totally trust her. Everything that transpired in the last book. So there's that. And let's talk about Tyron and Jude. Oh yeah, I'm definitely talking about them because it's pretty interesting. So Tyron is getting married to Locke, and she wants Jude to be there. She wants the whole family to be there. She's like, hey, let's reunite. I know what happened between us was really messed up. It was because her sister almost killed her for it too, so there's that. And Jude, she has so many people like trying to backstab her and stuff. She's like, why does she, like, what do you want to do with me? Remembering her sisterly bond, she's like, you know, okay, fine, I'll put our grudge aside for now and I'll go and attend your wedding. So she does. But in the meantime, Belkin and the Undersea, the Queen of Orlog, are actually trying to undermine Cardin. In fact, they're planning to kill him or get him off the throne somehow so Belkin can have place. Because at this point, the Queen of... Did I say the Queen of Orlog? I meant Queen Orlog, Queen of the Undersea. She wants her daughter, Nicasia, with Cardin, or maybe even Prince Belkin. at this point because she just wants the land and the sea to be reunited. She's like, I'll have it either way. I just want it to be reunited so we can be a more powerful force. So, with that being said, there's a lot of court politics. Holly Black does do a really good job on explaining all that, but I won't get too much into it because it is a lot. But it's really easy to read into, so I'm not complaining. All that's transpiring, and Jude finally gets a tip off that Queen Orlog wants to attack, and she thinks that she's gonna attack on Tyron's wedding day. So while Oak, Vivian, and Heather are coming down to visit, she's like planning all this protection around him, even for Heather because Heather is actually a human, and she has no idea that, you know, anybody else besides her and her sister and all that fairy stuff exists. She doesn't know any of that. Her girlfriend Vivian did not tell her any of that, by the way. So she finds out in a rather abrupt way, even though this lady has had months to discuss this. And Jude gives her opinion on that. She thinks that Vivian should have prepared her a little bit better because Vivian likes to be blind to the fact that they were human in a fair world where they were hated. So she's like, oh, Heather will be able to handle it better, but she doesn't. Heather gets glamored by some cat, starts turning into a cat, and Vivian is like, oh my gosh, yeah, it's crazy. And she also glamours her girlfriend too for the rest of the time, making her forget that she was turned into the cat. Jude is so upset by this. She's like, you should have told her, you should have prepared her better because this sucks being human. She's making sure everybody's good. Jude, that is, making sure that the bomb is watching out for anything suspicious going on, as well as the roach. She has different guards, making sure Cardin's okay, that Queen Orlog isn't going to appear anytime soon. However, the ghost actually pulls her aside and is like, you have to come here. You have to come and see the tower, forgetting something terrible's happened. So she's like, oh my gosh, I just want to make sure everything's good to go. He's like, everything's good to go, I checked, come with me. So this man takes her away, swoops her off. I don't think anybody's realized that she's pretty much been kidnapped, and here's why. When they get down to the tower forgetting, sees that Belkin's cell is empty, there's a lot of dead people, and there's water like everywhere. So there has been like a flood. He thinks that Queen Orlog had something to do with it. Also, she releases Cardin's mom from the cell. Do I personally think that was a great idea? Maybe not, but I understand her reasoning because she's like, well, Cardin didn't really have a chance to see her alive, so maybe this might be a good chance. And that was kind of in the back of her mind in a second, because then here comes lovely Ghost, the sketchiest guy probably out of anybody, with some of the guards from the Undersea, being like, hey, and she notices he's not encaptured, he's not bound or anything, so she's like, are you serious? You're the one that betrayed me? And he goes, I served you. I served Prince Dane, so therefore I'm going to undermine you and I'm pretty much going to give you up to the sea. So this woman ends up being a prisoner of the Undersea for like months. I want to say like a month or maybe even months. It doesn't really specify. But basically, she gets dragged under and she has to do whatever she has to do to survive. So that means she acts glamored, and because Prince Dane had given her like an oath, like, hey, I will not let anybody else glamour you, and that, even though he's dead, that still pertains to after, you know, he has lived. So she's still protected, but she pretends that she's glamored the whole time. She's barely eating, she's barely drinking any like fresh water because they're under the sea. It's really bad. So Cardin thinks of an idea while this is happening that, hey, I will bargain with the Undersea that if you want to make a target out of someone, make a target out of the land of termites. Not good. So that's how Jude gets saved by Cardin, King Cardin. I didn't really mean to roll my eyes, but it gets kind of bad. So she comes back up, she's recuperating. Ambassadors from the land of termites comes like 3 days later after she's recovering. She's woken up and he's like, hey, by the way, you made a bargain with us a while ago, and we're calling in that bargain. So get to it, because your prince is an idiot, basically. So she gets ready, she goes to tell Cardan the whole plan with Belkin. Belkin and the queen are trying to kill him, get him off the throne, by having her pretend to be glamored, be essential again, and then kill him in his sleep. Well, she's like, hey, by the way, I'm not glamored. Prince Dane's oath is still pertaining to me today, and yep, I'm okay. So I just wanted to tell you to make sure that they're trying to make a move on you so he can be king again. So then during the next, I think, party, coronation day, I want to say, for the land of termites to remember their people that are dead, really bad, and the king of termites also wants to talk with King Cardan. Cardan gets poisoned by Belkin. Yep. How he pulled that off, I'm gonna have to look back in the book, sorry guys. But I think Cardan's only real request regarding Belkin was that he doesn't die. Even a few moments later is when Belkin and Jude get into a fighting match, kills him. So while he's up recovering, blah blah blah, all that happened, Tyrant sneaks in, she's acting as Jude while he's delirious, and is like, hey, you no longer have a Grand General, thanks, bye. And Tyrant runs off with Maddock to start their own thing. So I'm curious to see how that works out in the book. Cardan marries Jude so he can be free of his curse, or his bargain as well. And then eventually, so he looks like a just king, a fair king, he exiles Jude for killing his brother. And that is how that book ended. There was a lot of backstabbing, there was a lot of deceit from the first book to the next, but I could not get enough of it. I was like, let's go. And it was so good. I can't wait to see what's in The Queen of Nothing, because that's like, I think, her final book. And if you guys want to talk more about it, just leave some comments, in the comments below, and let me know what you thought of the book as well. Also, I'm on other social media that I'm gonna link down below. I'm on Instagram, DeviantArt, now TikTok. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that out too. Facebook. So I'll try and link those down below. But thank you again for stopping by, watching, and have a great rest of your weekend.